The year 1989, where the Berlin Wall fell and everyone looked like an extra in Greece. It was also the year the American animated sitcom The Simpsons debuted on national television, and needless to say, the people loved it. It was funny, original, told the adventures of a hilariously dysfunctional Simpsons family, with power plant worker Homer, housewife Marge, troublemaker Bart, overachiever Lisa, and Maggie. All set in a town called Springfield, filled with all kinds of iconic, memorable characters from all walks of life. Now, to me, what makes The Simpsons show special is its ability to take the piss out of literally everything while simultaneously telling incredible tales. The show was never biased, and it used common stereotypes and made them comedic. Seriously, look at the majority of characters in Springfield and tell me they don't inherit a common stereotype, like law enforcement, old people, LGBT, Italians, Indians, country folk, Caucasians, Brits.
You know, I rather like this part.
Oh, an English boy, eh? You know, we saved your ass in World War II.
Yeah, well, we saved your ass in World War III.
Do you get my point? So don't complain about Apu being a harmful stereotype when the other 90% of the show is based around stereotypes, Mr. Condabolo. Fast forward 18 years and the corporate overlords at 20th Century Studios made a full feature-length animated film of The Simpsons, featuring all the original voice cast members and telling the story of how Homer's selfishness single-handedly led to Springfield's ruin. A lot of what makes this film unique is how it takes common situations and characters' attitudes from the original show and acknowledges the realistic portrayal of what the results are and the effects it can have. The most notable being the relationship between the main protagonist Homer and his family. Take this strangling gag between Homer and Bart, for example. It's always been a slapstick gag throughout the show and has always been played off as a form of dark humour. But in the movie, we see Bart secretly wanting a better father figure after seeing in comparison how neighbour Flanders treats his own sons. Now watch this scene here where Flanders and Bart go on a fishing trip. Bart acts surprised when Flanders doesn't immediately strangle him for losing his pole, and treats him getting a simple pat on the back as something weird and strange. That's because he's never had that sort of fatherly affection from Homer. I did a little research, and a result of child abuse is a lack of trust and relationship difficulties. Now, even as his last act, Bart only asks that Flanders be his father in his final moments, after saying goodbye to Homer. And for a character that's typically meant to be the evil troublemaker, it's a genuinely heartwarming scene and a form of character development. Now, another example, of course, is the relationship with his wife Marge. Now, it's no mystery to the more observant viewer that the bond between them reflects what a common husband and wife relationship would have been like in the 80s, where the wife would rarely speak out and be a bit more submissive. Marge is stuck with Homer even through the most abusive points in the show's history, that being emotional, physical, or mental. But when Homer refuses to save Springfield from destruction and even goes back on his own logic.
In every marriage, you get one chance to say, I need you to do this with me.
I need you to do this with me.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I'm gonna kill him.
After 18 years of abuse, it's finally the breaking point where she finally leaves him for good to save her town. And it goes without saying, Homer gets what he deserves in this film. His short-sighted selfishness causing his town to be sealed off from the world, resulting in his friends and family turning against him. Now, people will obviously say, oh, it's part of the joke. It's just a cartoon, it's not that deep. Shut the f*** up! Animation can still tell incredible stories. Take every damn Pixar film ever made ever. Good storytelling is never limited by its style. Now, what sets this film back can be seen as debatable, but I believe it can be traced back to one outstanding issue: the ending. Homer should never have been forgiven for what he did. This man adopted a pig and treated it better than his own son, caused his town lake to create an abomination for free donuts thanks to a silo of pig shit, resulting in a dome to seal off his town, escaping said dome, convinced his family to travel to Alaska while Springfield falls into anarchy, refused to help his family save Springfield, and when he actually changes his mind, he doesn't even have a plan. Seriously, everything that happens beyond that point is all consequential. And I'm not saying that Homer saving the town wasn't noble, but the fact that everything was forgiven just like that, it feels like a real missed opportunity to make the ending more believable. Especially since the story insists on upholding more realistic circumstances. But it's obvious the reason this didn't happen, and it's money. And the overall plot of the TV show demands that they all be together. And you know what, I can understand why they went down that route. But even then, they could at least dedicate some part to the ending with Homer trying to regain his family and Springfield's trust back. So let me give you a scenario. Homer is coming to pick up Bart from the rebuilt Simpsons household. Marge wants to slowly rekindle their relationship properly, and Bart and Homer go to bond on a fishing trip, much like the scene with Flanders and Bart. They get up to some mischief like the original ending before the credits roll. It keeps that entertainment and laughter of the original, but feels a bit more fulfilling. You can take the film and the Simpsons brand way more seriously that way. But hey, that's just my take on things. The animation and artwork still hold up by today's standards, the story is original and tries something new, the voice cast really made it worth the watch, and the humour of the film still gets a chuckle out of me when it does. Hope you all enjoyed, and word of advice, don't be like Homer.